Coming to you from deep within the heart of Texas in our secret underground bunkers, it's the New Republic Radio Show. Welcome everyone to Monday's night New Republic Show. It's a little bit late today, but that's alright. We're going to get things going. We've had a bunch of stuff in the news, just a couple things that I wanted to go over. A couple things like, for instance, calls for gun control stirred a little support after the whole situation with the Denver shooting. There's been a lot of people, especially the liberals out there, that want to really get into the whole, gun control thing. They want to know why everybody has to have weapons. They want to know, any kind of way that they can stop it, adjust it, take your ability away to buy them, store them, keep them, buy certain types. It's the normal same old stuff that we always end up getting. But the funny thing about it is I think that drum has kind of been beat to death, and the fact is that most people now realize that gun control, kind of like the war on drugs, doesn't really help anything. I mean, you can spend billions of dollars to stifle the use of drugs and try to do everything under the sun to keep people from using them, but in the end it just doesn't matter. People are going to do what they're going to do. And unfortunately the same thing with guns. If you take those rights away from the citizens, the only thing that you're ensuring is that the citizens will not have the ability to protect themselves. Because ultimately, as everybody has experienced at least once in their life, when you call the police, when you call 911, sometimes it takes, 10, 15, 20 minutes before the cops get there. And unfortunately, a whole lot of bad things can happen in that particular time. So I'm here to tell you, honestly, the American citizens, as I've noticed, the pushback on all this, everybody's here to tell you that just doesn't make sense to take those rights and take those guns away from people. Sure, this incident was a terrible thing, and my heart goes out to all those folks. But, you have to look at the argument both ways. Well, one, you can get rid of all the guns, which you can't actually ever do that. No matter what government, no matter what era, any time frame that it's ever been tried, you can't take the guns away from everybody. Criminals still always can get their hands on the guns. So until you can actually make that happen, the only thing that you're doing is you're either, one, just allowing the criminals to have guns because they're the only ones that will break the law to do it, or you have the opposite, which a lot of people are complaining about too, with the whole limiting the type of guns that you have. But you have the fact that at that point the government's the only people with the guns, and they can basically do whatever you want. You basically have a 1930s Germany all over again. And a lot of people are going to try to say that that's hyperbole, but it is the truth. What government on this planet and ever have you trusted completely with your rights? And what government would you honestly, thinking back, now that you're thinking about it, what government would you ever allow to take your guns away? That you would feel completely okay with it? That they took every single gun away from every single citizen. The only people that were allowed to have them would be military personnel. Maybe police. Who out there really? I know, obviously you liberals, you would feel fine with that. But anybody, a thinking man, a thinking woman, no, they're going to have an issue with that. But it's just something that every time these instances come up, and everybody wants to show these studies, and sad part is you show me one study showing one thing, I can show you 10 other studies that show the other thing. So ultimately it comes down to common sense. And the common sense thinking is this: either nobody worth having them has the guns, or allow people to get what they need to protect themselves in the way that they need, in the way that they see fit. And when situations happen, bad situations like this occur, hopefully, somebody's there to take care of it. Government acknowledges one-time surveillance problem. Well, Mr. Obama promised that he would have basically a see-through government all the terms and policies and everything would be out there up front. We'd get to see bills online weeks in advance, all that good stuff. Yeah, it really hasn't happened. This is the one time where they actually come clean and they admit that they were surveilling American citizens that were in communications to foreign countries. So basically, in the past couple of years, if you've been talking to anybody overseas, it could be you. It could be you. So I hope you're proud of your president, because he's the one that made that happen. I mean, hey, kudos to him for at least admitting it, but that's just a scary thing. Again, governments that have too much power, this is just not a good thing. U.S. poverty on track to rise to its highest since 1960s. So how's that hope and change going for you guys? My liberal friends, are y'all enjoying that? I know you're not, because you're not making more money than you were 4 years ago. I promise you that. You don't have better job security than you did 4 years ago. The highest poverty since 1960. Think about that. We have the most liberal president we've ever put in office, and he's guided us to the highest poverty since the 1960s. And we've had some liberal presidents since then. If you guys are counting, we've had some liberal guys in there. But he tops them all. And he's basically taken us, from one of the biggest economies in the world to basically the highest poverty since the 1960s. We have the worst credit rating that we've ever had. Think about all the things that have deteriorated since we put a leftist in the White House. Just food for thought. Mother disputes ABC News report. Well, that's about the lady, the Colorado killer. Of course, ABC distorting things and reporting things improperly. Basically, when they called her, she just identified herself, and they asked her if it was his son, and she said, yes, you've got the right person, meaning herself, like she's the mother of that person. She didn't know if it was actually him or not. She didn't know anything about the situation, but they just reported it to make it sound like, oh yeah, you've definitely got the right person. My son's a weirdo, basically. But that's the thing is you folks that watch ABC, NBC, CBS, all those people out there, CNN, even Fox News, if you think that you're actually getting news, I'm here to tell you, buddy, you're not. You're basically getting, it's basically you're getting your news with a commentator. You're getting a slanted, like how they see it. So I mean, if you don't think about that and you don't realize the lens that you're getting your news through, you might accidentally allow it to distort your world image, your world view, because basically what you're doing is the correspondents at places like ABC, they're just thinking, oh yeah, it's just like the whole Tea Party thing where they were trying to say that he was a Tea Party member right at the beginning. They're going to say those, whatever they think it is, they're going to say those type of things. They're going to interject those type of ideas into whatever they're reporting. So I just hope that you guys will think about that and tell your friends and make them realize and make them understand that, because outlets like ABC, NBC, CBS, those are the outlets that people need to ignore. They need to realize that that's not news. That's basically commentary. That's like an article. That's like basically asking somebody their opinion on any given news article. That's basically what you're getting. 979-31-TALK-6. 979-31-TALK-6. If you have any comments on any of my stories today, tonight, or even past stories, please give me a call. Leave a message, leave a rant. I don't care. We'll play it on the air. Moving on. Now, Syria raises the specter of chemical weapons. Well, I try to tell y'all people that. I've been telling you that for a long time. Where everybody always wondered where the weapons of mass destruction went from Iraq? I'll tell you exactly where they're at. They're sitting in Syria. And to the world's astonishment, Syria announced that they do have chemical weapons. Wow, yeah. And they're threatening to use them against any supposed outside country's interference. So I don't know. This just, it's kind of funny to me because everybody went off all on like the whole Bush thing where they were saying that the weapons of mass destruction, the WMDs were a lie and all that stuff. Well, this is part of that, and now we're reaping the whole whirlwind of basically that whole issue. I'm not trying to say that it was necessarily right or wrong, but they were there. Now they're in Syria, and now we're having to deal with them now. And the bad thing about it now is you have tons and tons of terrorists in Syria at the moment. So if something bad happens, guess where all those weapons are going to go? They're going to fall into the wrong hands. So we've got to do something. I'm not trying to say what's right or wrong on that, but we have to do something. If it's somehow that we can somehow contain it, which I have no idea how you would do that, short of carpet bombing the entire country, and I'm not recommending that we do that. But that's the only way that I can tell you that you could get rid of them and make sure they don't fall in the wrong hands. Rapper Ice-T defends gun rights. Last form of defense against tyranny. I'm really glad to hear that. I wouldn't imagine that there's too many things that myself and Ice-T would agree on, but I agree with him 100% on this. Taking away gun rights, that's what you're headed for, is zero defense against tyranny, because you're going to have governments, for instance, like the Obama administration, that would be able to do anything that they want. They would be able to take any type of money from you. They'd be able to redistribute anything that they wanted from you. And that's a scary thing, because if you don't have any kind of choice, a lot of people say, well, what good are you against a tank or an airplane dropping bombs on you? Yeah, that's true. I could be overpowered by myself from a tank or from a plane. But here's the difference. Our government does have to worry about upsetting the populace too much, because if they upset the entire populace, then you have 350 million people with guns, because there's more than one weapon out there for every American citizen. So if we were in that situation, they would have to contend with 350 million people that have guns, armed persons. So you can tell me all this stuff you want about, what am I going to do against the government and all this, but they don't want to do that. So that's going to be like a last gasp effort. So, it's official. 5 straight years of $1 trillion deficits. And it kind of makes it sound like we won something. Yeah, we didn't. Obama won and we lost. $1 trillion additional dollars each year for 5 years. It started with Bush, the very liberal, idiotic, as far as the economy was concerned, just idiotic decisions that he started with the whole bailout program. And then you had basically 4 years of the same type thing. Do bailouts here, stimulus there. And what did we end up with? $1 trillion additional each year, and now we have the worst poverty since the 60s. Again, where did the hope and change go? It all changed, but it killed the hope. So I don't know what to tell you. All I can tell you is 4 years ago, when it came time to election, you chose poorly. So maybe we can do something different this year. I don't know. Pickup truck carrying 23 people crashes in Texas. And, I don't have the official numbers here. Sorry, but quite a few died in that. That was very sad. I know they were illegals, and that's rough, and I hate it that there was 23 people in one vehicle, and that's horrible. But do they not get news in Mexico anymore? Do they not realize we have a terrible economy here? Why do they want to come here? I'm sure it's getting to the point now that they probably have better job options and offers there. So I don't know. I do know that overall illegal immigration has slowed because of the fact that a lot of people are starting to realize that, the economy sucks in the United States. So I don't know. I'm just waiting till the day to where it's so bad that people are immigrating to Mexico so that they can get jobs. 979-31-TALK-6. 979-31-TALK-6. Okay, genetics. This is something that I got into a discussion the other day, and I got to thinking about it, and I was like, you know what, this would make a really good portion of a show. And it was simply just talking about how genetics make some people fat, and it was simply admitting, basically stating it as hey, everybody understands, believes, and agrees that genetics make you fat. And this is something that really aggravates me. Many of you know that I have a long, time in the fitness and supplement industry, and this just blows me away when I read and hear people propagate this kind of nonsense. And, the study basically went in to talk about how they found out. Well, one of the studies that I was reading in connection to all this was talking about the fact that, they found a certain gene that a certain portion of the populace that had this particular gene was like, it was something ridiculous, like 1.3% heavier than everybody else without that gene. Okay. Number one, 1.3% does not equal 4, 5, or 600 pounds, okay? I mean, seriously, it doesn't, and it never will. Number two, I won't argue with the fact that you could say that genetics make people lose or gain weight easier or harder. I will wholeheartedly agree with that. But here's my simple argument. And honestly, it's a simple fact. Genetics don't make you fat. They can make you hold on to muscle tissue longer. They can help you build more muscle tissue. They can cause you to lose large amounts of fat and not have very much storage. They can cause you to burn a lot of calories. They can cause you to not burn a lot of calories. But none of that has anything to do with being fat. For instance, thyroid problems, diabetes, hormone problems. All of those instances can lead to weight gain, weight loss. They can also lead to muscle growth and muscle deterioration. But the thing is no amount of thyroid problems, you can have a fast or a slow, or you can have thyroid storms. Your thyroid can just be completely gone. At the end of the day, while that might cause problems, and it might slow your, say for instance, if you're trying to lose weight, it may slow your progress down. It does not cause you to not be able to lose weight. At the end of the day, it's simple mathematics. If you intake less calories than you burn, you lose weight. If you intake the same amount, you neither lose weight nor do you gain it. If you intake more calories than you burn, then you get fat, you get big. It's simple mathematics. There's nothing magical about losing weight. It is simple mathematics. And to all you people that don't want to believe me, I dare you to try it. Try to, find out what your for your age, weight, and size. Find out how many calories that you will normally burn in a day. All you have to do is intake 500 calories less each day, and at the end of a week, I promise you, you will lose weight. You will be 1 pound or more lighter than you were at the beginning of the week. It's like the laws of physics. You can't bend that. Diabetes can cause you to be insulin resistant, which can cause, unfortunately, large amounts of insulin to be released, which can cause premature fat storage. Okay, but the simple fact, if you cut back your intake and if you increase your caloric burn, like for instance by doing cardio, you're going to lose weight even with diabetes, even with the thyroid problem. If you have hormone problems where you have too much testosterone or not enough testosterone, maybe too much estrogen, sure, while it might slow your progress, it won't stop your progress. It's basically, at the end of the day, it's all about calories. There's no disease or genetic condition that can cause you to eat more calories than you burn, okay? If you have too much testosterone or estrogen, like I was talking about, have you guys and you girls ever noticed that some forms of birth control cause women to hold weight, to gain weight, to hold water weight? Have you ever noticed that? There's a simple explanation. It's estrogen. When you have too much estrogen, whether you're male or female, you automatically are going to hold water. Okay, you're going to notice that you get bloated. You're going to retain water. You're also going to increase the rate at which you store fat. So, unfortunately, the side effect is that you're going to gain weight. Now, you can simply combat this by increasing your cardio and decreasing your caloric intake. It's very simple. The problem is that most people feel that they should go through life with no type of any type of cardio. They feel that they just go, you go do your job, you do whatever you do, go to school, whatever. You don't do any cardio. You eat what you want to eat, and at the end of the week, you're fine. And that is not the case for most people. And here's the thing. That's not the norm. The norm is not to be able to live like that. There are people that do it, and there are people that can do it, but that's not the norm. The norm is your body wants to automatically store fat because it doesn't want you to die. Because normally food is not easily available for, no matter what your world outlook is, for 5,000 years, 10,000 years, or for millions of years, your body has been basically designed, and it's learned, and it's understood that food is scarce. Okay, so every day, all day long, all it's doing is it's looking for food. It's causing you to be hungry. It's causing you to want to eat, and all it wants to do is store food. Why? Because it knows that scarcity is coming. It knows that drought is coming. It knows that those hard times are coming. So all it's trying to do is to protect you. For you people that, what most people call lucky, that gain no weight and you're skinny all the time and all that stuff. Yeah, you know what, people? Those are the people that would be dead first. So we can technically say in the genetic lottery they lost. However, because nowadays we want to look a certain way, everybody looks at it as they won. But the thing is, all you fat people that, carry around a ton of weight and stuff, technically that's better. That your body has basically followed the evolutionary pattern of keeping you alive and ensuring that you will be alive in the months and up to a year, to come. Actually, it's more like months. But anyway, by storing as much fat as possible, that's going to get you through those hard times. Now the thing is you can do a bunch of things to trick it. One thing is you can eat small amounts and all the time, because your body was actually designed to graze. It was not designed to gorge and fast, gorge and fast, gorge and fast. And that's what we do when we eat 2 to 3 meals a day. That's what we're doing. We're just gorging ourselves, or we're fasting. If you graze all day, where it's small meal, just a little bit here and a little bit there, handful of this, handful of that, then that's what our ancestors have been doing for thousands of years. That's what our body's actually designed to do. And once you do that, you can actually lose weight, and you can maintain a certain weight that you want. But yeah, it's not anything. There's no magic mirrors. All this garbage that you see on TV, it's all just hype. It's all marketing. I hate to say this, but there's no magic to it. Everybody likes to be the guy that everybody goes to for advice, but my advice is this: it's simple. There's no magic to it. All you have to do is hear me talk one time about this, and then all you need to ever know about it. That's the reason why I couldn't I couldn't have too many. If I was trying to survive on clientele, I would go broke, because all I can do is teach you how to do it. And once you've learned it, you've learned it. You don't need me anymore. So I don't have you completely every year coming back. Sorry. Anyway. But yeah, I know I've rambled on about this a little bit. It's kind of, I know some of you've kind of just turned it off and whatever. But to the other folks that are actually interested in this and would like to really know how the body works in those particular cases, this may be a little bit interesting to you. But yeah, again, just stop using that word genetics make you fat, or that sentence. Just don't use that sentence anymore. It just drives people like me nuts. But yeah, if you want to be skinny, if you want to be big, if you want to carry a lot of muscle, whatever it is, you can do it. It's very simple. If you want to lose weight, less calories. If you want to gain size, strength, and look good, more calories. Anyway, 979-31-TALK-6. Well, I think that's about it for the show. I hope you guys have enjoyed. I hope you like my new microphone. I've been enjoying it. I know I'm probably sounding much better. But anyway, I hope you guys have a great week. Go out, educate, help somebody, do a good deed. Just be the best person that you can, no matter what that is. All right? Y'all have a great one. I'm your host, Keith Clark, and we'll talk to you next time.